You're watching Gearwire.com. I am Owen O'Malley, and this is the Electroharmonix Deluxe Memory Boy analog delay, made in New York City, USA. Hey, that rhymes. The Deluxe Memory Boy is an analog delay with digital control, but the entire signal path is analog. It's a sort of classic bucket brigade style IC chip arrangement, so your signal is very warm. Well, it's a sort of classic warm analog delay style, but with digital control you get a lot more flexibility, including tap and some cool sort of like sequencing time-based effects. Well, let's just take a look at the controls here. You get your basic blend knob from dry to wet. Okay, leave it back in the middle here, which is sort of nice. And the gain knob basically, well, it can compensate for, when you've got your blend at 50-50, your dry signal is coming down a little bit. Then you can use your gain knob, your gain trim, to sort of make sure that your dry signal is the same as your bypassed unaffected signal. Let's bypass. Cut it out there. Or you could even use it as a boost. If you use delay primarily in solos, for example, you can just crank the gain here, and here's your unaffected tone. And if we click it on now, get a little grit. Let's dial it back. All right. Now we've got our feedback and delay controls up here. Feedback, in a practical sense, controls the number of repeats. If we have feedback all the way down, well, we got to engage the effect. Feedback all the way down. Only one repeat. Sort of progressively decaying repeats. And if we start turning it past sort of 12 o'clock, it starts to feedback on itself. Which can kind of get out of control pretty quickly. Now with your delay knob here, you can kind of do some fun pitchy effects. Sort of edge of the pedal, you can control it with your foot, even if you don't have an expression pedal, but you can use an expression pedal. We'll get to that later. Now, there's two ways of controlling your delay time. There's delay knob, and then there is this tap tempo button. So you can enter a delay time with the tap tempo button. When you do enter a delay time with the tap tempo button, that also grants you access to the tap divide function. Now, tap divide is really cool. It takes whatever beat that you input, whatever tempo you input, and then subdivides it by sort of musical fractions. So our first subdivision here is a dotted eighth note. So here's our master tempo that we inputted. And then we have triplet quarter notes. We have eighth notes. Now we have triplet eighth notes. And then we have 16th notes. Now, let's listen to the pitch of the notes as we play one and let it feed back and then cycle through. Now you can hear that because these are at sort of musical time subdivisions, they're also at musically sort of logical intervals as the pitch increases. Now here's a really cool thing you can do with tap divide. If you hold down the tap divide button, you enter tap sequence mode. And you can change the rate of the sequence with the rate knob. And you still have independent control over your delay time using the tap tempo button. if you want to get out of that, you can either hold down the button again, or you can just move the delay knob. Moving the delay knob, as opposed to putting in a tap delay, defeats this sort of tap divide function.